that could change your life. So stop living with that day-to-day joint and muscle pain. So grab the phone right now, give them a call, 501-214-5880. Ask about that free consultation at 501-214-5880. Once again, 501-214-5880.
Register now for the 2025 Bud Light SEC Pick'em Challenge for your chance to win a 50-inch TV. Make sure to submit your picks each week so you can have the most points at the end of the season. Whoever has the most points will be the 2025 Bud Light SEC Pick'em Challenge winner and receive the 50-inch TV. Register online at 1037thebuzz.com. Only on your fun and game station, 1037 The Buzz.
For a nation searching for a voice to guide it through this modern-day wilderness of popular culture, politics, business, and sports. In these troubled times, we turn to one man. That man is Bill Vickery. Born with rural American values, possessed with superhuman brain capacity, buttery smooth charm, razor-sharp wit, chiseled good looks. He's chosen to use his superpowers for the good of all mankind. So this Sunday, the nation turns to this man for answers and direction. To Bill Vickery and the Sunday Buzz.
Be. I kissed her and she kissed me. Like the fella once said, ain't that a kick in the head? The room was completely black. I hugged her and she hugged back. Like the sailor said, quote, ain't that a hole in the boat? My head keeps spinning. I go to sleep and keep grinning. If this is just the beginning, my life is gonna be beautiful. I've sunshine enough to spread. It's just like the fella said. Tell me quick, ain't love a kick in the head?
Well. Todd, good morning to you back in the studio in Little Rock, Arkansas. I've made my way from Miami up to Tampa for the last leg of my Florida swing. And finally here. The long wait is over. We've made it to what is sort of ignorantly known in the sports parlance of the day as week 0 of the college football season. That's about as dumb a notion as to call something week 0 as to maybe change up Cracker Barrel.
Right.
Or have some trans boy girl push Bud Light. Or be John Bolton. Ding dong. Move out of the way, please. Todd, hope things are going for you well. Caught a little bit of the end of Big Sarge there, and the 63 people. There are more people that appear on Fish in Arkansas than appear on Saturday Night Live.
The only things missing are the big top and the yard barker.
It is more. There are more people who are regulars. You know what I mean? He's sort of like the Lauren Michaels of the show, and he has a cast of hundreds. It's the largest budget at at the Buzz is for Efficient Arkansas.
Why do you think it's been expanded to now start at 8 a.m. instead of 8:30?
Yeah. I mean, because even that extra 30 minutes still can't contain it.
No.
Okay. Well, a lot to get to. A lot's happened in this last week. I am reminded of my failing to take high school Spanish when I'm in South Florida, because all I can make out from time to time from the Uber drivers is Gordita and Tito Puente. Other than that, not sure if they know where they're taking me. You know, could you turn left up here? Could you turn left? I think you could turn left. Tito Puente. El lefto up hero. I mean, I'm an idiot for not knowing Spanish, Todd. That ought to be just a regular thing that we all.
Don't feel too bad. I took 3 years of it in high school and barely remember any of it. But then again, I haven't never used it, so it's not memory that's
It's a necessity in Miami. You've got to know. And even as you creep north in Florida, it's still the heavy influence. So anyway, beautiful places and busy week this week. And again, like I said, we got a ton of stuff to get to. I read in my newspaper, this was in the Wall Street Journal. That there are three major news corporations that own all of the local TV stations in America. There's Tegna, which owns the KTHV station. There is Sinclair, which owns the ATV or the Channel 7 station. And then there is, I'm trying to think, who owns Channel 4?
Nexstar.
Nexstar, thank you. So Nexstar and Tegna are merging. And that got me to thinking about if you could put a dream team, like what does that mean for local news to begin with? Like where are we now in that? And could you put together, dare I say it, a dream team of news? So you're going to have, if it all works out, and it's going to take about a year, but the company that owns KRK, the company that owns KTHV, they're going to merge. Interestingly enough, Sinclair, the company that owns Channel 7, is attempting to make a hostile bid with the Nexstar people to take over Tegna. So, but I got to thinking, Todd, being in the news business, like if you're going to band them all together, and just the same way from a news hole perspective that we really punch above our weight. I'm a fan of the Democrat Gazette. I am a fan of the actual newspaper. I like to hold I'm an old man. I like to hold the piece of paper in my hand. I've adapted, though, to reading it off of my iPad and phone. And we have extraordinary hard news coverage in Arkansas through the Democrat Gazette. Whether it's the sports section that you work in, Todd, whether it's the political section, whether it's the hard news section, the business section, and it's expansive. We have a significant amount of news that's presented by the local newspaper all the time. Now, don't get me started about the editorial page. The editorial page is the son who got hooked on heroin and disgraced the family. That's what the editorial page. The editorial. Now I'm speaking now specifically about, and I'm one of 5 people that still read the actual editorial in the Democrat Gazette, and that they had a whole thing on Stephen Miller criticizing him for name calling the hippies in D.C. Instead of actually looking at the underlying problem of crime in Washington, they spend space talking about Stephen Miller. It's the heroin addict son. I got one son who's a brain surgeon. I got one son who's a CEO of the company, and then we've got our other son who we don't talk about anymore. But the newspaper the hard news coverage in the newspaper in every section, national, state and local, sports, hard, is fantastic. So sort of along that same vein, we have had there's been a tremendous level of news coverage and newsability on the television side. 4 local stations. You've just got it. They have been very aggressive about covering news, and in my business career in politics for these some 30 odd years, they have really been. We again punch above our weight. Smart people. This market is always a launching pad for people to go to larger markets. Has always been a thing, and news is a very different entity now. It's been decentralized. You get your news from a lot of different areas, but we still been good. And in thinking about this merger, Todd, I thought, what if you could put together a dream team? Because if you could get Wes and Sully on the same team, you put Wes Moore and Steve together. I mean, that's the kind of coverage. You remember, of course, Wes Moore, still one of the best pieces of actual journalism, not just sports journalism, was when he broke the story on Calipari. I mean, that was just old school Woodward and Bernstein stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if you could get Sully, who's who's the Walter Cronkite of sports, throughout the state, really. You could get them on the same team. Is it possible that you could take? So I'm a huge fan of the Yak, okay, and so, but I like Barry too. Give me a little bit of Barry over there too. You know what I mean? Like Thunder and Lightning in the backfield.
Right.
Give me a guy who's going to get you that 3, and then give me the guy who's going to pick up 16 on an end run. So if you could put the two of them, and then I really like Juliana Cullen and Joel over there at 4 too. They're great on the weather side of things.
Yeah, they are.
And then you could build you could take Melinda. You could build a whole morning show around Melinda Mayo. Like, let her do everything.
No doubt.
Let her do the news. Let her do the sports. Let her do weather. Let her do the interviews. Like, just do a whole 90 minutes, and then sprinkle in some DJ. And this is what I see. This is how you got to put DJ in a crowd, because he's wildly popular. And then you put him out interviewing people in a crowd. That's what they should do with Strahan on Good Morning America.
Yeah.
Keeping him in a studio is not good. You got to get. So if you had a morning show with just Melinda, and then you put DJ out talking to people, there's your show. And then finally, listen, Chris May and Beth at Channel 7, absolutely fantastic. But the Kings, you put Laura next to the Tom Brady of news in Central Arkansas, Clausen. It's the top of the it's the Mount Everest, not even any kind of presidential sculptings or anything. You put Clausen is the Tom Brady of local news. And I think we are approaching a point in time, just from a sheer profitability standpoint, that markets, mid-level markets like Little Rock, we're going to be down to one sort of expanded local news presentation, and that's going to be it. That the affiliations with the actual CBS, NBC, ABC, Fox, those are going to fade away, and you're going to have. And so this is what I'm saying. If you get hit with some Kevin Kelly and Donna Terrell, bing bang, right there. See what I'm saying, Todd?
Mm-hmm.
Is it right here? I'm drawing up a play right here. We want a seal here and a seal here, and we want Kevin Kelly in the alley right here. And then you get a little bit of Chris May and Beth Hunt, and then you come with the GOAT, Clausen and Monteverde, and then you just basically let Bob read the defense, and inside of 2 minutes, you've moved the ball down the field. That is my dream as we're seeing all this merging occur, Todd. That's what we come up with for one sort of 90-minute expanded local news time from 5 to 6:30 in the evenings, and that's what it becomes. No need for a 10 p.m. news. All that, but I need that late afternoon, early evening fix right there. That's my news dream team. And then Melinda in the morning, sprinkled in then with DJ out in the field talking to people.
Sounds good to me.
Happen, we can get private equity money together to put one media dream team together right there. Just what I said. Okay, see? We're giving away, you know what we've become? Basil. Basil gives away million-dollar
giving away ideas, yeah.
He left and right, Broyles, Touchdown Club. He's got to go pick up Jimmy Johnson tomorrow.
Tuesday.
He's got to pick him up tomorrow for the actual speech on Tuesday.
True. You're right.
So these are these, you know what? That's a $1 billion idea we've just given away. That if you're gonna actually, if all the local news affiliates are going to fall under one or two major corporate umbrellas, let us engineer local news right there. And then, so the second story, of course, is the fact that Cracker Barrel literally has taken the cracker out of Cracker Barrel. That old white coots sitting up next to the barrel there, they got rid of the cracker in Cracker Barrel. And I get it. I understand. This is what happens. They got a CEO, they brought her in. When revenues or the stock price gets stagnant, you think, oh, we've got to, the board gets together. How can we keep growing? And in come some consultants, and they say, well, this is the market, and that's what we're really not talking about. The really underlying subversive thing that we have in America that's happened is, yes, news has become too lefty on the national scale, and college professors and everything else, but the business schools are churning out these kids that go to work at McKinsey or Deloitte as, quote, consultants. And they go to Harvard, they go to Wharton, they go to Stanford, and they're lettered and degreed. They have no real world understanding, and they are all center left. Unfortunately, what would now almost pass for center right, but they're really center left in their understanding of the world. And they all sort of feel like, well, we all want to be. You've got to present to this new generation. And so when things get stagnant, they bring in a new CEO. They brought in this Julie Massano woman, and she bounced around at a couple of other places, not really distinguished herself, but she was a woman, and I understand what the board wanted to do that. I've gone back and I read the article where she came into the company. She's going to, recharge the brand. So if you're going to recharge the brand, the first thing they do is, well, we got to appeal to millennials, and your customers are dying off. And I guess there's not an understanding that as a business, your customer base comes to you at a certain point in life. I didn't in Miami this week go, I'm going to get up in the club. Take me to Cracker Barrel. You know what I mean, Todd? Like but you know what? At a point in sometime in the next 2 weeks, I will be in a Cracker Barrel with a chicken fried steak in front of me. And so the consultant comes in, and then the CEO who's brought in to make changes, and they're trying to do, and immediately it's throw all this hokey stuff out. And it's because they have a perspective that doesn't really understand or include the vast majority of America. So they make these idiotic decisions. I understand if you want to redesign the restaurant, there are steps that can be taken to help capture a new audience for your brand without alienating the old audience. But it's not like this. And ultimately, here's the thing. They change the logo because it's their stamp on what's about to happen. And so I promise you, not at one meeting did a consultant or the CEO ever think, oh, if we get rid of Uncle Herschel, what's that going to do? No. They look on those kinds of things with disdain. And so, I mean, I thought it was funny. Did you see that the people from Steak and Shake talked a bunch of poop about Cracker Barrel? That, we're committed to our customers. We're not like, I mean, so when your quasi competitors start to poop talk you on social media, I don't see how she survives. They're going to let her go, and it's not so bad, but here's what she did, Todd. We'll fix this. I'm going to go on Good Morning America and talk to Michael Strahan and fix this. And what happened? Just made it worse. Oh, everyone's just talking about how they want this refresh, and everyone, and so again, it's a fundamental misunderstanding. Oh, they're just not getting it. It's a lot like what you see that comes out of the Democratic Party leadership. Oh, they just, you know what? People just aren't smart enough to get how smart we are and why this is a good thing to lead America down this green energy path. You just don't. We're not explaining our narrative clearly enough. No, maybe it's just a total rejection. Maybe for a massive amount of your current client base, they like that homey feel. They like to go there. It's a feeling. It's good. Why do you think they want to go have the comfort food? They don't want to go have the comfort food at Live nightclub. Todd, I'm not ordering a chicken fried steak at 3 a.m. at Live. No, I want the comfortable surroundings. That's what I'm into it for.
You're not going to the strip club in Atlanta for chicken wings?
No, I'm not. Right, I'm not going to. What is it? Magic City? Is that the place in Atlanta? Not that I would know, Todd.
No, I wouldn't know either.
But what it really reveals is a disdain for a massive amount of the American public when they think, well, we need to get rid of these customers so we can get these other customers. That's where the future is, and I'm going to make a big splash. And that's where these corporate boards have to step in and go, whoa, whoa, whoa. And it happened with the Bud Light situation. It happened with a few of these other companies with the DEI stuff. And you got to understand that the vast majority of these companies, when they were reacting to the DEI crowd, it's just a bunch of old white guys who sat in a room who went, look, just let's put this in place. Tell them what they need to hear, just so we can not get caught up in this, and then let's just get back to business. See, these people that ran these companies, they said one thing in public and a completely different thing in private. And I promise you, it's why we talk about it all the time. Why does the NBA own a big percentage of the WNBA? It's so that a majority of those old white coot owners can have a female sports franchise they can point to try to wash away some of their other sins. These CEOs and the board chairs, hey, let's just do this. That way we can check the box and get back to real business. And if you don't think that wasn't the real attitude, then you are completely being misled. So a lot of the DEI people thought, well, yes, we're changed. This is good. We're taking the direct. And so some of these companies now, all of these consultants and all these kids that came out of business school and they're all sustainability. We're worried about, you can't get a bathrobe at the Fontainebleau Hotel in Miami because of sustainability. And I literally had that conversation like, listen, I don't even want to see myself naked. Is there any way that I can get a bath? Oh, sir, we don't have bathrobes anymore. It's part of our sustainability program. Wait, whoa. Couple pieces of terry cloth just so I cannot see my naked self as I glance in the mirror because it's so offensive, even to myself. That's how is that sustainable? And by the way, define sustainability, sir. And that's when he went, oh, okay, never mind. Thank you. Could I get some more towels then? Or is that part of your is part of the sustainability program? I just got to air dry like Cuba Gooding Jr. and Jerry Maguire. So I think Cracker Barrel has been Bud Lighted, and I think that's what's happened. They literally got rid of the cracker and the barrel. Todd, we're way over. Let's hit a break. We get back. I got to talk about Trump this week meeting with all those world leaders. And I think specifically they invited Italy just because he likes their prime minister is kind of hot, and she's the female Trump of Europe. And then John Bolton, he's on the phone with his brother Michael saying, "You're not going to believe this. Who's at the door, sweetheart?" What does that mean for house cleaning in Washington? And is it blindfold and cigarette time for about 400 or 500 people in Washington who probably deserve it, who really do deserve it? Stay with us.
Aero Truck Sales has been in business in North America for 75 years. They are dedicated to helping truck drivers, owner-operators, and fleet managers find the high-quality used semi-trucks that they need to grow their business. Their on-site financing team provides flexible financing options and comprehensive warranty and protection plans. Plus, their attached shop provides convenient and efficient reconditioning. Visit Aero Truck Sales at 12101 Eanes Road, North Little Rock, or view their inventory at arrowtruck.com.
Hi, this is Joe Klein with Corky's Ribs and Barbecue. Whether you are dining in for daily specials like Cheese Dip Happy Hour, driving through for a barbecue bowl pickup order, or prefer our full-service catering, our professional staff at Corky's has you covered. Corky's in Little Rock and North Little Rock. We'll see you soon. And be sure to listen each week when I stop by 1037 The Buzz.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems, like snoring, aches and pains, hot sleep, or even an old saggy mattress that can keep you up at night. And our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now get a king bed for a queen price, plus a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Looking for burgers, barbecue, beer, bourbon, ball games, and brunch? Look no further than Ouachita Bar and Grill, 915 Central Avenue in beautiful downtown Hot Springs. Ouachita Bar and Grill, family and pet friendly, with indoor and outdoor seating available. Bingo Bango Brunch, served on Sundays from 11 till 3, with live music Thursday through Saturday. Take a look on Facebook to see what events they've got going on this week, and join the fun at Ouachita Bar and Grill, Central Avenue, downtown Hot Springs.
Catch the buzz on all our social media platforms, presented by Luxury Pool and Spa in Conway and Russellville. They're your pool and spa chemical headquarters. LuxuryPoolArkansas.com.
On your way to the Little Rock Airport, business travelers park fast at Expressway Airport parking. As you park, our shuttle picks you up, and a 60-second ride later, you're at the airport. Download our app and earn rewards. Simply scan the virtual gate pass to enter and scan again to exit. No waiting, and your receipt is emailed to you. Pay less than municipal airport parking at Expressway Airport parking, left of the airport entrance, next to the Comfort Inn.
Summer is here, and so are soggy wands and muddy paw prints. Acadie's Touch Landscaping specializes in transforming outdoor spaces with refined solutions, drainage systems, retaining walls, and flower beds designed with ease of care in mind. Plus custom decks, fencing, and synthetic turf design to help clean up your kids' play areas and pet runs. Customize your space to enjoy year-round. Call Acadie's Touch Landscaping, 501-794-2770. Let Acadie's Touch turn your dirt into dreams. Catch Quinn Grovey each Thursday this football season on The Zone. Get insight from one of Arkansas's best, brought to you by Conway Wealth Management. Conway Wealth Management, planning today for your tomorrow. Take control of your financial future and call or visit Conway Wealth Management today, 501-358-3994.
Or visit ConwayWealthManagement.com.
Securities and financial planning offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA SIPC.
More of the Sunday Buzz with Bill Vickery.
You are now free to turn up the volume as loud as you want.
Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer. Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer.
Well done on the music, Todd. It was
I thought you might like that.
quite a productive time. Yeah, you know. It is, again, as I said in the first segment, I always wish that I had taken Spanish seriously in high school because it comes in handy in Miami to so you know what you're doing. 70,000 Cambodian monks have come forward to lead the fight for Donald Trump to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Now, I don't know if these monks, if there's 70,000 of them. I mean, that, you know, Todd, that sounds a little bit like the old days of Razorback football during the Jeff Long
I was just going to say, yeah.
An unannounced crowd of, 69,372. No, there was more like 35 there. And that's when you knew the program. That was the horrible Jeff Long years. So I don't know if this should say before an announced crowd of 70,000 Cambodian monks. But something I did not have on my bingo card this year would be the Prime Minister of Cambodia and what can easily be described as literally thousands and thousands of Cambodian monks who had taken a vow of silence. And I've always thought about that. What happens if you have to go to the doctor and you've taken a vow of silence? Like if you got to go see Ford or Hayden Franks and you're like, okay, what's wrong? Do you just write it down? Is that anyway? I didn't even know Thailand and Cambodia were going at it. But Trump waves his whatever he did. He and Marco Rubio, they brought peace between Thailand and Cambodia in what the Foreign Policy Journal called them the most escalated violence since 2010 in Cambodia and Thailand. And so now everybody, they all shook hands and went home, I guess. Hatfields and McCoys over there. Trump got whatever that worked out, and look, it's Jesse Waters, who I love on Fox News. 70,000 monks break their silence for Trump to win the Nobel Prize. Don't know if it's 70,000. It should be an announced crowd of 70,000 monks, and unclear whether they broke their silence or just held up. But there is a picture of what appears to be several thousand, and it's been verified by the Associated Press, Cambodian monks holding up that presidential portrait of Trump. I mean, it's the most bizarre thing you could ever hope to see. But no, didn't have that one on my bingo card, buddy. That one surprised me. Bunch of European leaders and Zelensky, the younger brother of the former auto parts king of Chicago in the middle of America, Zelensky, brake pads. He took over Callahan Auto Parts. But they all show up at the White House this week with Zelensky to talk about what the president talked about with Putin. And I had a friend of mine who this week was big on, and this is what this guy's a smart guy, worked for the State Department in the Obama administration. Well, you do realize that the world we had isolated Putin, and we had him. Isolated Putin? How? I mean, part of the reason we're hammering India with tariffs now is because they're the second largest consumer of Russian oil. How have we isolated Vladimir Putin when he's still able to sell his oil not just to China, but to one of our leading allies on the planet Earth? And we've isolated him? And by the way, India isn't buying oil from Russia to use it. They're arbitraging the oil market. That's why Trump smacked him with a 15 or 20% tariff, just sort of out of the blue on top of whatever else, to say, hey, look, you can't do this. Because they're buying, because Russian oil, the price of oil has gone down. That affects the Russian economy because they have to sell it on the black market. They have to sell it lower than market prices, so it's even lower than the actual price that you see in the Wall Street Journal. And India steps in, and they used to import like 4 or 5% of their energy from Russia. Now it's 40%. They're not using it to power, Bhopal or Mumbai. They're arbitraging it. They're buying it, stamping their national symbol on it, and then selling it at market price. They've become an oil exporter when they don't have oil. And so that's what Trump was upset about. It's like, whoa. We're trying to end this war over here, and energy prices, that's a key component in the end game where we're trying to squeeze Putin. And you guys are over here propping them up. I mean, China does it unabashedly because they're China and they're not an ally. But you guys are supposed to be our buddy, and if you're going to be a player on the world stage, and you can't be this desperado selling black market, Marlboros out of the trunk of your car to guys when they get off at the plant. This isn't Goodfellas. So that was the deal there. But part of the deal is that Trump wanted them to go to so I'm having this conversation. We've isolated him. I brought that up as an example, and I said it's not working, and it's not working. Well, he brought a Russian president to American soil, and I said, you do realize that Alaska is a major sticking point for the Ruskies. It was humiliating to the Russians. It was a power move by Trump. One, to stand there with Putin, and he wanted that photo op because he towers over him. Two, he brought him to an American military base in Alaska to basically say, look, I don't know what you call a military, but this is like our AA team. You haven't even seen our major league teams. And three, we bought Alaska from the Ruskies. You go back and we bought Alaska before gold was found there, before oil was found there. And why did the Ruskies sell Alaska in the first place in 1867 to us? They had amassed an enormous amount of debt fighting the Crimean War. Crimea, Ukraine. And so they sold us Alaska before these two major the mineral developments occurred. They were worried about the Brits taking it over. They sell it to us post-Civil War. William Seward put the deal together. It's a brilliant piece of American history. Go back and read it. It was called Seward's Folly at the time. And, of course, it's turned out to be a major component in the American economy, culture, lifestyle, from a military standpoint, all of that. Brilliant move, gold and oil. And so all of those symbolic things went into what Trump was trying to do. Then this week, he has all of these key figures, including, what's her name? Giorgia Meloni. Yes. The Prime Minister of Italy. But they all, and it was kind of weird. They all met around the table, but some of them had their backs to the press, and they all march out, and Trump orchestrates, or the Trump White House, in conjunction with NATO and all these other countries. That's the issue for Putin that he didn't want to have, which is a unified Europe. See, he was able to foment unrest amongst European allies for a couple reasons. One, they really didn't want to pay for anything and hadn't for a while, and they wanted the United States to pick up the tab for everything, and we did for so long. But then two, it was necessary that they not anger the Ruskies, because most of Western Europe is heated by natural gas that comes from I can't. What's the name of the pipeline? Not Eurasian. Anyway, it comes out of Russia, and natural gas and oil and some wheat. That's it. That is the Russian economy. And as we said last week, their actual economy is smaller than the state of New York's economy. So our Western European allies were always concerned about, well, we don't want to make, but now, given the decline in the price of oil and the fact that they're hemorrhaging money in the Russian economy, they have to sell their natural gas. They can't hold that over Western Europe's head anymore by saying, we may not turn the natural gas spigot on this winter. It's more along the lines of, yeah, here it is, and we'll sell it to you at a reduced price. And so to take that a step further, final element in this whole thing, part of that play is having a great relationship with Saudi Arabia and Mohammed bin Salman. And so they're operating at a high level of output that's keeping the price of oil down. And as a result, that impacts the Russian economy, which forces their hand. So that's to some degree the card that Trump plays. So that's this whole geopolitical thing. I mean, and, what the Dems want to scream is Russian collusion. But what he's doing is, I believe, and hats off to Marco Rubio, and whatever you think about Trump, it is having the willingness and then the ability to put all this stuff together, to bring the German prime minister, to bring the British prime minister, who I think he actually called Monty Python at one point. Now, Monty Python, you tell them what the Brits think about me over there. They love me, don't they? And the dude that runs NATO now and Trump are, mega gone are the days of that photo of Merkel just staring grimly at Trump, and Trump sitting in that chair with his arms folded. Now he looks around and goes, ain't nobody out of that crew left. I'm the only one standing. Let's hit a break. We come back. I got to talk a little bit about Adam Schiff and John Bolton and the chickens coming home to roost. The ox carts and the guillotines are being prepared. It's a lot of folks in D.C. nervous now. Stay with us.
Hey Arkansas, it's Terry Harrison at the Big Lot, where you'll find the biggest selection, the biggest savings, and now you'll find Big Steve Landers.
That's right, Arkansas. I'm back in the car business at the Big Lot. Don't be confused. The real Steve Landers deals are at Chris Crane Dodge Jeep Ram.
Come see me and Big Steve at the Big Lot, Chris Crane Dodge Jeep Ram, Alco Road in Benton.
The Big Lot Benton.
Tune in each week when Susan Irwin Prowse shares her Keys to the Weekend music events calendar with Justin and DJ. Brought to you by Willie D's and Big Red Dog Productions. Big Red Dog Productions is your gateway to music excellence in Central Arkansas and beyond. Visit entertainersguide.com to see the weekly calendar and submit your shows.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Tickets are available now for the Oaklawn Sports Tailgate Party with 1037 The Buzz. Go to 1037thebuzz.com to reserve your free tickets.
If the 25th is the silver anniversary and the 50th is gold, what's the 75th? Well, that's the fresh beef, onions, pickles, lettuce, tomatoes, fries, and drink anniversary. Everybody knows that. Get the #1 Whata meal for $7.50 in honor of our 75th anniversary. A meal like that is the way you're supposed to celebrate a 75th. The Whataburger 75th Meal Deal. Whataburger, what a deal. For a limited time at participating locations.
At Capital Technology Group, we make your technology our priority. There are so many threats to IT these days, and we're here to help protect your data and devices. We're also by your side when things simply go wrong, whether it's servers crashing or printers breaking. We cover it all for our clients in all types of businesses. And with over 80 years of history in Arkansas, you can trust Capital Technology Group to be your business technology partner. Sign up for a free consultation at captg.com.
Life comes at you fast, especially behind the wheel. So if you think it's no big deal to drive a little over the speed limit, think again. In a collision with a pedestrian or bicyclist, it can mean the difference between life and death. Getting somewhere a couple of minutes faster isn't worth someone's life. Let's look out for each other by following posted speed limits. Drive aware, save lives. A message from the Arkansas State Police Highway Safety Office.
Oaklawn Sports presents Oaklawn Game Day. It's an inside look at the week's biggest games, exciting prop bets, and the latest betting lines from Oaklawn Sportsbook. Justin Acree and Oaklawn's Vice President of Racing and Wagering, Zach Gillum, give you all the information you need to place your bets at Oaklawn. Catch it on The Buzz Wednesdays at 8 p.m. and again Thursday mornings at 5:30 before Morning Mayhem. Oaklawn Game Day on your fun and game station, 103.7 The Buzz.
Now, more of the Sunday Buzz with Bill Vickery.
It's existential, yet it's so accessible.
Bust it.
Michael Bolton. John Bolton woke up this week to the FBI raiding his home. Again, this is a part of another discussion I had with a friend in D.C., and we're talking about Bolton, who is sort of universally unliked. This is a guy that sort of fancied himself as a modern-day Henry Kissinger, only a lot smarter than Henry Kissinger, and has been around the notions of foreign policies, part of the somewhat part of the neoconservative movement, although good old-fashioned neocons wouldn't necessarily recognize him as such. But he was always the smartest guy in the room, was smarter than Trump, and Trump was a tool. And he eventually turned on him and helped try to lead part of the impeachment proceeding, or was actively engaged in part of the impeachment proceedings. And so what happens with these guys, like Bolton, is their value once they leave government service. And they leave it and go back in and leave it and go back in. But their value is in understanding what the agencies are doing, whether it be the CIA, the NSA, military intelligence, and they need to maintain their security clearances, and they need to maintain access or understanding and possession of classified material. And that is their value going forward. And so it should have been, or it is, it should be troubling to John Bolton that the raid, while we can argue whether this is the Trump revenge tour against all these folks who did him wrong, or this is the investigation of people who have been getting away with criminal activity, but couching it as business political engagement for a long time, and then actually turned and weaponized the previously heretofore sacrosanct elements of the government, the Department of Justice and the FBI specifically, that they weaponize them against their opponents. You know, we can argue whether it's one or the other, or I would put forward the notion that it can be both. That I can't deny that Trump might be getting even. I also will wholeheartedly endorse the notion that these are bad people that should have been ferreted out from the very beginning and shouldn't have been able to carry out the activities that they have carried out. Comey, Clapper, Brennan, especially Brennan, I mean, all you got to do is there's 2 or 3 folks. If you get a chance to ever read on Substack or follow him in any of his social media stuff, Michael Schellenberger has a great perspective on all this. And he was talking this week, and it was, look, this isn't necessarily about getting even. He goes, Bolton may have been doing this stuff for a while, which is why the CIA director shared information with the FBI director to say this is what the guy's been doing. And we want to talk about classified documents and spouting off state secrets, which is what they indicted Trump for. If you remember, they splayed out all that stuff which was in the downstairs toilet at Mar-a-Lago. Well, then we seem to be spot on here in what we're doing to go after Bolton. And again, Bolton is a thoroughly unliked figure. Adam Schiff, turns out Adam Schiff, he had 2 primary residences. He may have genuinely, very much indeed, committed mortgage fraud. Same as this woman on the Federal Reserve Board of Governors. Same as the New York Attorney General. Just to get a better mortgage rate and a few thousand off here or there, you don't get to do that. Yet Schiff refinances in 2020 his California home and his newly purchased home in Maryland, and he claims them both as primary residence. And you say, well, that's not a lot. That's about what they went after Trump for. But this stuff with Bolton, Schellenberger has a great perspective on this. If you get a chance to read Michael Schellenberger, you're very well worth it. Very good to follow him. This is all about Bolton and Clapper and Brennan and this intelligence group in D.C. that tried to thwart Trump. Throw Milley in the mix there. They really tried to thwart the Trump foreign policy. They were really a lot behind the Biden foreign policy. They came out of the Obama administration. They're part of that sort of permanent political class in Washington where they go in and out of government service. It's worth it to read Schellenberger. I mean, it may very well – the 2 don't have to be mutually exclusive. Trump can be getting even. But these can also be people who have operated with impunity for years and years and years, and maybe they're not good people that don't have the national interest at heart. But they've just been a part of the political elite and willing to weaponize these agencies that are supposed to be above all of that. Maybe that's who they are. And I've said it before, Todd, we've talked about it. You could line up about 1,000 people in Washington, blindfold and cigarette, and then just start all over. And let's have a competition of ideas. Let's have the ideas win. Let's have all new groups of people go to Washington on the Republican and Democrat side with a clean slate and a level playing field, and let's fight about ideas then. Stats coming up. It's college football and pro football season. It's upon us. 1 hour of analysis and projections with Stats Norsworthy at WHBQ Radio in Memphis. Stay with us.
This is the Pigskin Preacher, bringing you the word. The movie Rust is a film that everyone has heard of thanks to the tragic events that led to a death during filming, dragging Alec Baldwin and others through legal turmoil. The film was finally released at 115 theaters, where it made a grand total of $25,000, not close to the $7 million it cost. Perhaps this harkened back to the tragic deaths of Vic Morrow and others during the filming of the Twilight Zone movie. Sometimes, to respect the departed, it's just better to leave things alone. Stop by and register at your nearest Double B's for your chance to win a new Bad Boy 550 four-wheel drive side-by-side, purchased from the Bad Boy Superstore in Searcy. This Bad Boy Wonder vehicle will be given away on a special broadcast of Drive Time Sports on October the 8th. You do not have to be present to win. That's Doublebee's.
The last bastion of quality programming.
Why would you listen to any other radio station than 103.7 The Buzz? KABZ, Little Rock.
The Genesises from Genesis of Conway have become so popular that now Genesis of Conway has a tremendous selection of pre-owned trade-ins. Highline vehicles, low mileage, great prices at a dealership that is unlike any you've ever seen. Spoiler alert, when you visit Genesis of Conway, you will get spoiled. It's unlike any dealership you've ever seen, even when you go pre-owned. Go see them, and it will hit you like it has so many. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
Pickup Truck Accessory Warehouse presents Match Game on Morning Mayhem. Listen for your chance to play their version of the classic TV game show. Brought to you by Pickup Truck Accessory Warehouse, Arkansas's truck accessory headquarters for over 30 years. Call 501-568-0040 today or click online at arkansastruck.com.
Are you tired of that old, outdated bathtub but not sure who to call? Use a contractor you can trust. Bath Makeover of Arkansas offers a 5-year workmanship warranty, a lifetime product warranty, and a dedicated 800 number just for warranty claims. And every estimate comes with a price lock guarantee. We are your trusted local source for high-quality, American-made baths and showers installed in as little as 1 day, featuring our revolutionary new laser-etched shower wall systems. Call 1-800-NEW-BATH during our 60-60-60 sale. Receive 60% off installation of a new bath or shower with 60-month financing options, senior and military discounts, plus receive a $60 Visa gift card with purchase. And call 1-800-NEW-BATH now for a bonus, a free $25 Starbucks gift card with your free in-home estimate. That's right, call 1-800-NEW-BATH for these special savings from Bath Makeover of Arkansas. We proudly maintain an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and serve the full state of Arkansas. Check out our 5-star reviews online at bathmakeoverar.com. Real reviews from homeowners like Kenneth in Hot Springs.
Did an excellent job with it. I mean, the guys were so good and nice, you know, and everything. So I was very impressed with it. I love Bath Makeover of Arkansas.
From Eureka Springs to Lake Village, Paragould to Texarkana, call Bath Makeover of Arkansas now during our 60-60-60 sale. Receive 60% off installation of a new bath or shower with 60-month financing options, senior and military discounts, plus receive a $60 Visa gift card with purchase, and call 1-800-NEW-BATH now for a bonus, a free $25 Starbucks gift card with your free in-home estimate. Call 1-800-NEW-BATH. 1-800-NEW-BATH. That's 1-800-NEWBATH.
The Zone Hotline on 103.7 The Buzz is presented by Jim's Razorback Pizza with 2 locations, Highway 10 past Taylor Loop and just off the Morgan Maumelle exit.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ugh, kitchen ants, runaway roaches, a spider. A spider! A spider! Relax, just use Zevo. Zevo insect killer sprays use a powerful blend of mint and rosemary to eliminate those pests and up to 20 other bug types. Plus, Zevo is safe for use around people and pets when used as directed. Just spray the bugs and wipe them away. Zevo, people friendly, bug deadly.
Your phone always has plenty to say. But at Arkansas State Parks, the best connections don't need Wi-Fi. Just a campfire, a trail, or a canoe. The greatest memories are the ones you make outside. So go ahead, unplug and unwind with the people you care about most. Pick your park and plan your adventure at ArkansasStateParks.com.
Brought to you by Arkansas State Parks, this station, and the ABA.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm gonna have to find a new genius, or 2 half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
I don't always have time for the salon, but I always make time for me. Clairol gives me the power to touch up or totally transform my hair right at home. I'm talking salon quality color in minutes with over 50 stunning shades for every hair type, every texture, and every version of me.
It's not the hair color you were born with, but the hair color you want to be. Clairol, it's so me. Find your perfect shade today wherever hair color is sold, or learn more at clairol.com.
Join the Zone each Monday for Game Balls and Jockstraps, brought to you by A Caddy's Touch Landscaping. Find out who made the best, average, and worst headlines in sports and entertainment each Monday as Justin and DJ give you their Game Balls and Jockstraps on the Zone from 10 to 1. It's all brought to you by A Caddy's Touch Landscaping, 501-794-2770. Call today to get your landscape updated to a whole new level and be listening for Game Balls and Jockstraps only on 103.7 The Buzz.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Here, football is a religion, and Saturdays are sacred. Players live for one moment. The seconds of a game-winning pass live on forever. Where football is more than just a game. It's a way of life. The nation's best conference. An American tradition for over 75 years.
I want it to be gain, not loss, good, not evil, success, not failure, in order that I shall not forget the price I paid for it.
To the 30, Lindsey's got 35-40, Lindsey's got 45-50, 45-40, run, Lindsey, 25-20, 50, 10, 5, Lindsey's got, Lindsey's got, Lindsey's got!
Here's to Bo Jackson, Jackson's on his way. Goodbye. 71 yards for Bo Jackson.
Jones looking. Jones now throwing to the end zone, and it is complete! A touchdown! Oh, my! I can't believe it! 31 yards to DeGory Birmingham in the back of the end zone.
Billy Cannon watches it bounce. He takes it on his own 11. He comes back upfield to the 15, stumbles momentarily, at the 20, running hard at the 25, gets away from one man to 30, still runs at 25, 35, 25, he's on the 50, he's in the 40, Billy Cannon raced some 89 yards for a touchdown.
Everything is riding on this football game. So there's a special intensity, a special urgency. Here come the Volunteers. Wherever you listen throughout the world, it's football time in Tennessee.
Not to sound like Brett Bielema or Bert, but it's a little erotic when all those old school radio guys from the South start to weigh in at the start of the hour. Todd, I did a poor job in alerting you. Do we have Stats' Dua Lipa intro music? We have that? Oh, I should have known, Todd. My bad.
I've got bases covered, man.
I had a premonition that we
saw a picture of her this week. She was almost wearing a bikini in like Sardinia. When you hear Dua Lipa, you think of only one man, Stats Norsworthy. You can hear him Monday through Friday, WHBQ Radio in Memphis, Tennessee. He's the pregame, postgame voice of the Ole Miss Rebels, a proud University of Arkansas graduate and a state treasure in the state of Arkansas. If we are efforting with our folks in the legislature, R.J. Hawk et al., to name Stats we have a poet laureate in Arkansas. That Stats should be the intellectual in residence for the state of Arkansas. That's the new position we're trying to create through legislation for our buddy Stats Norsworthy. Good morning, Stats.
He's there.
Okay.
I'm not sure why.
I'm here.
There he is.
Okay, there we go. So if we created this position of intellectual in residence through legislation, would you be willing to serve as that in the state of Arkansas?
I will serve, but the first thing I want I want me and you in the same ceremony to go into that Arkansas Encyclopedia of History.
Yes. I think, hey, that deserves a purge. There should be a thorough and complete examination of that.
And I think this should be the purge.
First of all, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no one does the job. You and I we would have driven the ox carts in Paris in 1787. Hop in, buddy. I know where you're going. Let me ask you, Stats. Impressions about yesterday, both Iowa State, Kansas State, Hawaii, Stanford. Those were two really good games, actually.
Yesterday was good. It kind of whetted the appetite. That's what it served for. The game in Dublin, it was competitive. It was sloppy. I think the playing conditions really lent itself to that. I didn't see either team being really physically dominant, and you couldn't tell anything about their speed because of the playing surface. But Iowa State and Kansas State in that Big 12, they're going to be around at the end of the year. The Big 12 may be the most entertaining conference out there because of the parity. But I think that's the story of this college football season is parity across college football. And Las Vegas says that. There's no SEC team with a season over and under win total more than 9.5. We don't have the Bama at 11.5 or the Georgia at 11 or LSU at 10.5 like we're so accustomed to. Vegas is telling us this is a 9-3 league, and I think it is. I think that a lot of teams will go 9-3. Who can break through and get to double digits? Because the committee showed last year, very sadly, it showed last year that they look at one thing, that win total, and they go, "Oh, look at SMU. They won all these games." And it doesn't matter who you're playing. They just look at the left-hand column. And in the SEC, if you've got a bunch of 9-3 win teams, I don't know how you sort it out and reward them when you have teams like potentially Arizona State, BYU, Iowa State, Kansas State, maybe one or two more from the Big 12 that are sitting there with a gaudy 10-win season. I don't know how you take 9-3 over them, especially with the poor precedent, the really poor job that college football playoff committee did last year.
Is it possible then that we could see the sequel to last year's playoffs, where you saw those marginal the teams that were marginal got in and then performed very poorly, and we were left wondering, what if we didn't have Indiana? What if? Is it possible that will hasten the 16-game playoff, that if another year of that where we see an Arizona State lose and that we just finally go, okay, we got to get to enough teams where you can get some really solid teams that play in the Big Ten or the SEC that should be in, that we can finally get to that level? Is it possible that we could get there faster by having a replay of last year's playoffs?
We're going to get there with or without that last year. It's going to 16 next year. And the thing that probably just gave the signal to everybody that it's moving that way, the SEC didn't go to 9 games this week or next year's play without the assurance of it's going to 16. You're not going to 9 and making it that much tougher. It just made it hard, even more difficult in the SEC. You're not doing that unless you know you're going to have more slots. And the SEC as a league is in favor of the 5 plus 11 model, the 4 power top champions, the group of 5 champions, which last year was Boise State. This year it could be a lot of different teams, including Boise State, and then 11 at-large teams. And I asked Ray Sankey at SEC Media Days, why aren't you for 16 at-large? And he said he just could not get the votes there and couldn't get that done. So you got to take what you can get. And even as powerful as he is, and the SEC and the Big Ten as they are, everybody still wants slots for those top champions. I love to hear somebody like Brett Bielema or like Kurt Signetti at Indiana when they're so opposed, and I am too, and it's not going to happen, the 4 automatic qualifiers for Big Ten or SEC, and then they just instinctively say, I'm not for automatic qualifiers, but I am for conference champions. Well, that's an automatic qualifier, Coach.
Right. Does it? And once we go to 16, is it? I think it's very probable that you're going to see, the Big 5 that you named, and of that 11, 10 of them being from the SEC and the Big Ten, and that's what in fact we'll get with a 16-team playoff is that you get, a smattering of those from the ACC, the Big 12, the Power 5. You got to throw Notre Dame in the mix there, I guess. Or would they be part of the non? They're just an independent on their own, correct? They're not even a part of that. Am I thinking about that correctly?
No, it'll be a spot for Notre Dame, and it should be. But no, Bill, I've got to see it before I believe it for a bunch of SEC or Big Ten teams in there, because we're still so hung up on the issue of fairness and equanimity. And I just don't think that's what athletics is about. I think athletics is about the best. It's the ultimate meritocracy. I want 16 at large. If 11 of that 16 comes from the Big Ten, so be it. If eight come from the ACC, fine. But we don't have many people out there thinking like that, because in the name of fairness, well, they're people too, and we got to accommodate them. They play football too, so we got to accommodate them, and I think that's the flaw in it. I want the very best, and if the very best includes an 8-4 Mississippi State, then I think they should be in.
Okay, we're talking a lot about the future. Give me, let's jump right into it. Give me your Power 4 conference champions, and we'll throw out Notre Dame. Let's keep them out of it. Your Power 5, your non-Power 5 or non-Power 4, however we want to say it. The best of the rest leader. Okay, so give me the 4 champs, and then
I'll give
besides
you,
Notre Dame,
I'll give
the
you
best
my bracket. I'll give you my bracket.
Okay.
I have the number 1 seed, champion of the Big Ten.
Even better.
Penn State, number 2 seed, champion of the ACC, Clemson. 3 seed, champion of the runner-up in the Big Ten, Oregon. 4 seed, Georgia, champion of the SEC. 5 seed, Alabama from the SEC. 6, Ohio State from the Big Ten. 7, LSU from the SEC. 8, Ole Miss from the SEC. 9, Miami from the ACC. 10, and champion of the Big 12, Texas Tech. 11, yesterday's defeated team, Kansas State from the Big 12, and it's not a hometown pick. The non-power is Memphis is the 12th seed. They would travel to Bama opening weekend.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's just jump right into it then, Stats, and we'll deal specifically with the SEC in the next segment. But let me ask you, given the way the playoff makeup is today, what you just said. Week 0 now has an impact on the playoffs that we see at the end of the season. The playoffs now literally make every week must-watch and must-win situations for every team that has a chance. So for Kansas State, they go to Dublin, they lose to Iowa State. How does that impact them going forward, trying to make the college football playoffs? And Texas Tech winning the Big 12. That's an interesting pick to me.
Yeah, well, you see now in college football, Bill, it's the best time. We don't have it anymore, but it used to be one of the magical things to be at a game and hear the public address announcer go, now scores from around the country. We don't have that anymore because we got them on our phone instantly.
Yep.
You got them on all these jumbotrons instantly. It's the best scoreboard watching time ever in college football. Last year on week 0, if SMU doesn't mount that late fourth quarter comeback against Nevada, they're out of the college football playoff picture from week 0, where they stayed alive and they got in, whether we liked it or not. They got in, and they got in largely from a great second half performance in defeat. They lose to Clemson not as badly as we thought they were going to lose at halftime, and that ended up being one of their strongest resume bullet points. We had it yesterday with Iowa State and Kansas State, but we have it every single weekend. We used to in college football. I would defend no playoff in that we have a playoff called the regular season. Now we still have the best regular season in all of team sport, and now we have a playoff, so it made good even better.
You do make a great point, and we're both of a certain age, and Todd and many others listening. That gasp that you would hear at War Memorial Stadium or Razorback Stadium when you're at the half, Texas, 14, Army 21, and it would go. There was that moment in time. I'm getting goosebumps right now remembering that, and then that caused a flurry of activity in the stadium, and you would hear those. And then players on the field, especially near the end of the season when you knew what was going on. That was a special moment. And I find myself now gravitating to really, yes, I want my game day experience and I want to go to games and I want to be, but boy, I really also want to see this. I want to see that. This is going to have an impact on it. It is. You've hit nail on the head. Scoreboard watching is at an all-time high in college football.
And another thing it's done is it's made the SEC. We always at bowl time kind of had the all for one and one for all mentality, but now we have to have it each and every week. The SEC needs Texas to win at Ohio State. The SEC does not need South Carolina scratched up by Virginia Tech. The SEC needs LSU to win at Clemson. We need Auburn to win at Baylor. Because every little nick on the resume, that scratches you up as the year goes along. Last year, opening weekend, just think if A&M had pulled off the home win against Notre Dame, well, that hurts Notre Dame. And this year, if this happens, and I have both of these teams beating Notre Dame, if A&M wins at Notre Dame and then the Razorbacks win against Notre Dame in Fayetteville, what if you had a 9-3 SEC team and that last slot is against a 10-2 Notre Dame team? I hope Hunter Yurachek would make the sense that he didn't make last year of going, look, they're 0-2 against my league. I don't care what they did against everybody else.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Todd, let's take a break real quickly if we can. I want to come back and check our levels real quickly with Stats. Hey, Stats, when we come back, let's go inside the SEC. Let's make some predictions, and then we can talk. We can get very specific here because I'm curious to know specifically about South Carolina. Is it all hype or is it for real? So we'll talk to Stats on the other side. Stay with us.
I'm Trey Reed from the Wild Side on 103.7 The Buzz. Join me and Mark Hedrick Tuesday nights at 7 for the Wild Side.
Brought to you by West Rock Landing at Lake Maumelle, Trader Bill's Outdoors, Battery Outfitters, All About Tire and Brake, Tammy Chase Insurance, Edwards Food Giant, and Crane Chevrolet.
Now that it's summer, we're blowing out prices at HJ Trailer Sales. Through the end of the month at factory cost, some even below. Aluminum truck beds in stock marked down to $6,500 installed. All bedrock beds, $4,900 installed. Butler hay beds, $12,800 installed. Need a trailer? Good Guys 22-foot, 10K, $8,100. All air tow trailers under $20,000. Delta 30-foot, 14K gooseneck, only $10,900. HJ Trailer Sales on Facebook or hjtrailersales.com. Hot Springs and Paragould.
Listen for Champs and Chumps on Fridays during The Zone. Brought to you by Washita Bar and Grill on Central Avenue in Hot Springs and BKC Home Builders, building premier homes in Hot Springs.
Constipation with belly pain that keeps coming back and back and back. If your symptoms keep coming back, talk to your doctor. It could be irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C. Linzess could help you get ahead of it. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Morning Mayhem on location Wednesday at Luxury Pool and Spa in Conway. It's the end of season blowout sale. Save 10 to 75% off store-wide. Truckload pricing on hot tubs. Huge savings on pool chemicals. LuxuryPoolArkansas.com for more info.
For 55 years, you've trusted Sigma Supply for all your packaging and shipping needs. And now, as part of Brady Plus, they've got even more to offer. From janitorial supplies, facility supplies, and food service disposables, Sigma Supply has you covered. Ordering is a breeze with over 50,000 new products online at SigmaSupply.com. Call or text sales manager David Breitenberg at 501-617-4600 and ask for the Buzz discount now because it's there. And remember, if you're not using Sigma Supply that is now part of Brady Plus, you've got low-grade product, man.
Join Morning Mayhem Thursday at Hubbard Power Sports in Russellville, where you can get rates as low as 0.99% on Can-Am ATVs and side-by-sides, as well as huge end-of-year savings with rebates up to $3,500. More info online at HubbardPowersports.com. Aero Truck Sales has been in business in North America for 75 years. They are dedicated to helping truck drivers, owner-operators, and fleet managers find the high-quality, used semi-trucks that they need to grow their business. Their on-site financing team provides flexible financing options and comprehensive warranty and protection plans. Plus, their attached shop provides convenient and efficient reconditioning. Visit Aero Truck Sales at 12101 Eanes Road, North Little Rock, or view their inventory at arrowtruck.com.
I'm Scott Romine with Gwatney Buick GMC. We've been advertising on 103.7 The Buzz for over a decade, and I have personally worked with our sales rep, Hope Hankins, for 8 years. Hope keeps us up to date on Razorback and high school sports sponsorship opportunities. Gwatney Buick GMC has long benefited and enjoyed partnering with The Buzz. If you want to advertise your business on The Buzz, I recommend you call Hope Hankins at 501-773-7321.
Thank you for joining the Sunday Buzz. Here's your host, Bill Vickery.
Unbelievable.
Back on the Buzz, Bill Vickery. I'm out of town, down in Tampa until hopefully later this evening. Stats Norsworthy with us as we're breaking down the college football season ahead. We are here week 0. Let me ask you this, stats. Give me your sleeper team in the SEC that we're not paying attention to enough right now.
I think it's Auburn. I think Coach Hugh Freeze has got a quarterback, maybe quarterbacks, a young quarterback as well that he can have more confidence in and have a little more faith in. But I really wish I haven't done it. I wish I could take a powder on picking Auburn until after I see them against Baylor on opening night. Boy, don't you know at the end of that game between Brother Freeze and Baylor, we'll have the biggest prayer circle ever after a college football game. But I think it's Auburn. I've got Auburn 9-3. That's very improved. My 3 losses for Baylor are at Norman and at College Station and home against Alabama. So 9-3 saves him, gets him in good shape, and I think he will be the sleeper team.
Who are we paying way too much attention to? Who's overrated right now?
You were all around it going into the break. It's South Carolina. Please, they lost all that off their good defense, including their Lombardi Award winner, Kennard. They were good last year, but it's so overdone what people have done to Lenore Sellers. It's so much that I've started calling him Lenore God Sellers. It's so overrated. Everybody wants to compare him to Cam Newton. I want to compare him to another Auburn quarterback, but it's not Cam Newton. I want to compare him to Jeremy Johnson. That's what he looks like. That's what he's going to play like. And they lose big next weekend, opening day, next Sunday, week from today, against Virginia Tech. I've got South Carolina going 5-7.
If wave a magic wand and look into the future for me, and it's January, do Florida, Arkansas, Mississippi State, and Auburn, I think you've answered this for me, all have and Oklahoma. Do those 5 schools still have their head coaches in place?
I think they do. For as much as anything, the economics of today, people are just not as prone in wanting to pay off these coaches in these huge settlements, because when you pay off that one coach, we know you got to pay the incoming staff, and nobody has money like that. Look, we've seen budget cuts, and we've seen very controversial firings in a lot of athletic departments. These athletic departments now are monitoring the copying machine usage. I mean, it is myopic now around an athletics department as it's ever been. Everybody's trying to save a penny here and a dime there and big money over here. So I don't think any of those places will have a coaching change, because I think they'll all win sufficiently to stay with that person for next year. But does that give you any momentum? I don't think there's any momentum in the Arkansas program right now, but I don't think they want to or can afford to make a coaching change.
Excellent point. Does 10 wins lower the pressure in Tuscaloosa to a point where DeBoer can put a 3-year plan in place or something like that? Or does it take 10 wins and a playoff run to do that?
I think it's the latter. I think it's 10 in the playoffs. And shockingly, I think it would amaze people that they were not that out of sorts over 9-4 last year, because I think even they recognize what he's replacing and what he's who he's having to coach behind. That's Coach Nick Saban, the greatest college football coach ever. I think that is unarguable. I would love to take up the debate with somebody that would like to argue that. So I think they were fine with that, and they knew it was the incoming staff with the quarterback like Jalen Milroe. I think he was impossible to coach. I think only one guy could keep him disciplined during the game, and that was Nick Saban. I think they're really glad that he's gone. Now, who they have coming in, Ty Simpson. Bill, you and I have thrown as many passes at Alabama, touchdown passes, as he has, and he's been on campus 3 years.
Yeah. Well, okay. Unplanned question. Who has the transfer portal helped the most this year? Who has it hurt the most this year? And then what school has used stability to its advantage?
Bill, that is such a great question. I promise you, I was at Ole Miss football practice Monday and Tuesday and was visiting with Coach Kiffin and asked him, what is the hardest thing right now, player retention or player acquisition? And he said he thinks it's retention. Keeping your good players there, keeping Quinshon Judkins there. For Arkansas, keeping Luke Has there, and they couldn't. Keeping your players on campus. At Alabama, keeping Caleb Downs at Alabama, and they couldn't do it. He goes to Ohio State and wins the national championship. But I think in that, the answer is Ole Miss. He has been the portal king. And with that, he has been the chemistry king. Ole Miss has won 21 games the last 2 years. Ole Miss has had 3 out of the last 4 years with double-digit wins. And I think it's what so irritates so many Razorback fans is they know if they had won the Lane Kiffin sweepstakes, they would be doing what Ole Miss is doing, and they did not. I love people that want to kind of gloss over history and rewrite history, that Hunter moved away from hiring Lane and hired Sam Pittman. Are you kidding me? That's a fireable offense if he did it. You don't hire Lane Kiffin and you hire Sam Pittman instead?
Okay, new question. Why are people not – why does Missouri not – why are they not getting a level of respect that you would think Eli Drinkwitz's success should afford them?
Bill, man, you're on fire today. That's another one that's won 21 games the last 2 years. I've got them going 9-3 this year. I don't think Eli Drinkwitz is the most liked guy, but he's done something that's really hard at Mizzou, and that's win consistently. He's done it. And I go back to that coaching hiring class of the 2020 season. It was November, December of 2019. You had 4 hires. Well, Mississippi State hired Coach Mike Leach, and we sadly know what happened. The other 3 coaches hired were Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, Eli Drinkwitz at Missouri, and Sam Pittman at Arkansas. Of those 3, kind of the LSAT question, which one of those 3 doesn't fit?
Yeah. Okay, let's get into some predictions here. And I think you've touched upon it with your playoff predictions, but give me, and I know you already have it down, answer this question first. Will Vanderbilt have a repeat of last year? And then give me your sort of rundown of where the league finishes, top to bottom. And then lastly, should Oklahoma be happy with where they're finishing? And why isn't Brent Venables more on the hot seat?
No, I don't think Vanderbilt will be able to sneak up on teams like they did last year, because now we know just how good, with the ball in his hands, like a point guard that Diego Pavy is. I have a 4-8 and 1-7 in the league. At Oklahoma, I have Oklahoma in my large grouping of 9-3. I've got 4-10-2. Georgia, Alabama, Ole Miss, LSU. They all make the playoffs. And then I have Texas A&M, Tennessee, Auburn, Oklahoma, and Missouri, all at 9-3. And I promise you, it cross-checks. And it got Missouri at 9-3 and 5-3, and going to something called the Gasparilla Bowl.
Oh yeah, familiar with it. Stats, at one point, I went out with a woman who is a deputy director of that bowl, by the way.
I knew you did. And now, like I said something called the Gasparilla Bowl, you call that something as a past relationship.
Exactly. I can't. I'm not allowed to attend that bowl for very good reasons.
Are you welcomed in Hillsborough County?
I am here now, but I had to put a mustache on and a hat to get through security.
You had to go all Bobby Valentine in the Mets dugout?
I look like Bobby Valentine in the
dugout. Somebody with a Colonel Klink voice. Show me your papers.
Okay, go ahead, Stats. I interrupted you.
So I have all those 9-3 teams. I've got Florida at 8-4 and going to its first ever Liberty Bowl. In fact, I've got Florida and Arizona playing in the Liberty Bowl, and I hope they bring their weather. Let's have a Liberty Bowl at about 75 degrees. I have the Razorbacks 6-6. but that includes the upset over Notre Dame. And remember, a year ago, I was 6-6 with the Razorbacks, and I had the Tennessee win. I have the Razorbacks going to the Birmingham Bowl, and South Carolina 5-7, Vandy and Mississippi State 4-8, and Kentucky 3-9. And I don't even know if Kentucky will fire Mark Stoops at 3-9 for the same reason of everybody's watching every cent. I'd rather go into next year with no momentum than no money.
Does Arch Manning have expectations that are unattainable under any circumstance? Are we going to be fair to him, or is he overhyped?
Well, he's not overhyped. First of all, this is a Manning. There's never been a dud Manning. People need to quit talking about him like he's Bronny James. He's Arch Manning, and he's going to be fine. It might not be next Saturday in Columbus at the Horseshoe, but it will be eventually. He's already done more starting those 2 games last year in his college career than Bronny did at USC. The criticism of Arch is way too much, and probably the positivity right now is way too much. Next Saturday has the potential of being the biggest overreaction ever. Let's say he goes to Columbus and he goes 27 of 38 for 349 and 2 touchdown passes, and he runs one and rushes for another 60 yards, and they win. It's going to be him in a Reagan over Mondale landslide perception-wise for the Heisman after week 1. But let's say he stumbles. Let's say it's 17 of 42 and 3 picks. They're going to come off the top rope to criticize him, and Marcus Spears and Ryan Clark can't wait to lead that charge.
Yeah. If unfairly, he's become a lightning rod. And again, I feel like that, they've handled it well. They've not stepped in it. They've had to navigate a lot there, and obviously very high profile family.
He's already better than Shedeur Sanders.
I would agree with that. Okay, let's do this. Let's hit a break, and when we come back, I want to look at the national picture. And I want you to give me how you see things ending up with maybe the top 20 teams. I want to talk about the Heisman Trophy race and end it with the state of college football in mid-January of 2026. What does that look like? Stay with us.
Hey, this is Mitch at Red River Ram Dodge Chrysler and Jeep. I saw an ad the other day, and I thought, no wonder people don't trust car dealers. I looked up the discount they were offering that was $20,000 off, only to find out they put a $12,000 to $15,000 lift kit on this truck, marked it up $38,000, and then said they're taking $20,000 off. Make that make sense in somebody's head. Folks, come check us out. RedRiverRam.com. See why we're Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer, or make that beautiful drive right here to Heber Springs.
Hi, I'm Trey Reed from the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, inviting you to join me every Wednesday morning for the latest news from the great outdoors. It's brought to you by Arts Marine in North Little Rock, now under new ownership, but with the same familiar faces and incredible service you've known for years, plus the area's best selection of boating parts and supplies.
More fiber and laxatives, eh? Who are you? I'm Future You. Future me? Constipation with belly pain still coming back? Our doctor figured it out. It's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, and Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Genesis of Conway presents Craig O'Neill each week when he joins Roger, Baz, and Justin on Morning Mayhem. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
Once active and adventurous, Stephanie was sidelined by joint pain. She was losing touch with what gave her real joy.
I want to stay active, and if I don't do something now to feel better, that will keep me out hiking and running and doing all those activities, my health's going to suffer from it. I had the treatment at QC Kinetics.
Their all-natural regenerative treatments use the restorative biologics from Stephanie's body. As the healing properties went to work, Stephanie realized something one day.
I was like, wow, I don't feel any pain. I have no problem going up and down stairs. I have no problem going down mountains. Snowboarding felt good again.
If you see Stephanie, give her a thumbs up. That is, if you can catch her.
And now I can totally keep up with my friends in their 30s, and I'm 55.
Don't even think about giving up. There's lots of life left to live. Call now for a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 501-214-5880. That's 501-214-5880. 501-214-5880.
We all plan to be on time, but fender benders, damaged windshields, and slick roads quickly disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design personal protection plans that work for you and help keep you on track. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Shelter agents Justin Sollers, Dan Cook, or Brian Kress in North Little Rock today.
Join 1037 The Buzz for the Oaklawn Sports Tailgate Party Saturday, September 6th. Don't miss the only Little Rock Games tailgate party of the year. We'll have hot food, cold drinks, and your favorite Buzz personalities behind Double B's at Markham and Van Buren. The Oaklawn Sports Tailgate Party is brought to you in part by Double B's, Bud Light, Reliance Bank, Chris Crane Dodge Jeep Ram, and UAMS Health Orthopedic and Spine Hospital. Special thanks to Fence World, Arkansas Portable Toilets, and Arkansas 10 and Special Event Rental. Go to 1037thebuzz.com for your free tickets.
You're listening to the Sunday Buzz on 1037 The Buzz.
It brings us together.
And now, here's Bill Vickery.
A man walks down the street, he says, why am I soft in the middle now? Why am I soft in the middle? The rest of my life is so hard. I need a photo opportunity. I want a shot of redemption. Don't want to.
Okay, we've got stats for about 10 more minutes, so I want to take full advantage of this. We're into week 0. By the way, why do we call it week 0, Stats? Who dreamed that up? I'm not a fan of that.
I don't know why we count it like that. Now, if we don't count the 0, then the year 2000 was not the start of the 21st century. So I guess I did not learn to count to 10 going 0, 1, 2, but I guess you have to.
Let me ask you this. You know, obviously I put our college football opening for the show together, and I'm a fan of those the old school home radio guys. How can, with a SiriusXM app or the ability through all the connectivity now, what is the vehicle how I can get that Texas broadcast, or I can listen to you in advance of a game, or I can listen to I can listen to the Vandy guys. That's what I really enjoy is And
Bill, I had that. I swear, I had Sirius XM when I was 10 years old. It just didn't call it that. It was called the AM radio, and I could start in Memphis. And as I say, at 560, that's the only thing I've ever done to the far left. But I could start on the far left, and I could roll through, and at any given time, from 1 o'clock to bedtime, I could hear Ole Miss, Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Memphis, occasionally at night LSU, at night Kentucky, at night Mizzou on KMOX. Sometimes it would be the national package for Notre Dame. I mean, I could roll through there was a couple of years that in Memphis, Alabama game, because of Logan Young, he paid the station to carry the Bama game. You could hear Bama games. So, I could hear Jack Crystal. I could hear Stan Torgerson. I could hear Bud Campbell. I could hear John Ward, and it made me the college football fan that I am.
So, okay, well, let me just jump into it. Let's just get right down to it, because two main topics I want to cover in the next 7 minutes. Okay, give me at the end of the season, pre-bowl, give me how you see the top 20 teams. We don't do 25. Give me the AP top 20 at the end of the regular season.
Well, I think at the end of the year, it's going to be Penn State standing on top of the sport. James Franklin, everybody's a little bit reluctant to jump into the deep water with James Franklin. I'm not, because 2 years ago, it felt like it was Jim Harbaugh's time. Well, it was. Mm-hmm. Last year, it had to be Ryan Day's time, or he would have been out at Ohio State. I think it's James Franklin's time at Penn State. I have Penn State beating Clemson for the national championship. My college football playoff Final Four is Penn State over Georgia and Clemson over Ohio State. My college football playoff Elite Eight is Georgia and Bama in the Sugar Bowl, Penn State over Ole Miss in the Rose Bowl, Clemson over LSU New Year's Eve in the Cotton Bowl, and Ohio State over Oregon in the Orange Bowl. And I can assure you, if Ole Miss is in the Rose Bowl, when we go out there pregame, I'm hitting all fours and kissing the ground of the Rose Bowl Stadium. I've been to a Rose Bowl, but to be there with Ole Miss would about be the top moment of my sports life.
In terms of the Heisman Trophy, do we have one? Does ESPN have an outsized influence on it, and is that a good thing? And then two, do we always seem to decide it late? So does it really matter now who we're talking about? Isn't it really? Shouldn't we be looking at November?
Bill, it doesn't. Nobody had Travis Hunter a year ago winning it. I don't think very many had Ashton Genty being the runner-up. I vote, and I voted for Ashton Genty. I still think it was a better vote because every defense was designed to stop him, and he answered every week with record rushing numbers. It's hard to be a running back now at any level of the sport because it's not the old ground and pound that we were very accustomed to. And a running back hadn't won the trophy since Derrick Henry won it. But I'm picking Garrett Nussmeier at LSU. And the LSU PR machine, the first thing, you know it in politics, you know it in marketing, you got to have something good to sell. You got to have a good candidate to get somebody to vote for him. And LSU's got it in Garrett Nussmeier, and they had it in Jay Daniels, and they had it in Joe Burrow. They've got the PR machine down there.
So who will be there in New York, and who will be sitting next to Garrett Nussmeier that you'll look and go, wow, he didn't win it? Will that be Arch Manning, or will it be I don't think it will be Arch. I think it will be Cade Klubnik from Clemson, Garrett Nussmeier winning, Cade Klubnik from Clemson, and maybe a player at Georgia. If someone emerged, I don't think it would be Gunnar Stockton, but maybe somebody from Georgia. I have Texas 9-3, and you're not winning a Heisman Trophy at 9-3 anymore. When it's all said and done, when we played the national championship game, when we're now in mid-January and we're focused in on NFL football, and you and I are talking, and you have been on fire in your predictions, and it's only because we go back in the last few years. Not only your Statstradamus on Super Bowl Sunday with what's going to happen, and you've been spot on with all that. You've had a really high efficiency rate in terms of your projections about college football. But I want to talk about the sport. Will we look back on the 25 season and go, wow, this is exactly the way we'd wanted this to happen as we move into a 16-team playoff in the next year? Or will it be sort of one of those years where you look and go, it's a little fuzzy, and are we really given everything, where are we with college football?
No, it's going to be a wow year, because what year in college football has ever not been a wow year. College football, the greatness of it is it's yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We get to be with our friends. We put all the NIL and all the portal and all the movement and the coaches' salaries and ticket prices. We put all that in the past, and we get back with our friends on game day or your game day routine, whether you're going to the stadium or not. No, it's going to be a wow year, and I think the parity of it will make it more of a wow year because it will bring in some that on opening day couldn't have dreamed of it. Last year, Arizona State, who had them in the playoffs? Who had Indiana? Who had SMU? So you always have that story.
Last question. Will we call college football players employees in the next 24 months?
I don't think they will, but they will be employees. They just don't want to do it, and there's a lot of the legality around calling them that. But that's what they are. I mean, it's professional football, and we know that. And I think people would enjoy it more if they would just come to that realization of not only is it not 1980 anymore, it's not 2010 anymore.
Yeah, great point. Great point. This isn't. Yeah, when you look at the life of this iteration of college football, you don't go back even to. I could make an argument 2015 or 2017. You know what I mean? I could even
maybe 2020 with COVID.
Yeah, COVID. That might be the great demarcation point, Stats, to look at college football before 20 and after. You know.
Yeah, it really could be, and things have changed, but we still want to pull for our teams and hear that fight song and be among friends. That's what makes college football.
Brilliant. A tour de force performance today, Stats. Just you're in late season form in week 0, and we very much.
I got more reps than I will late in the year.
You got a lot of reps. Yeah. You're mostly walk through in shells now during the week as you get in later into the season.
Thank you, Bill.
Excellent job. The great Stats Norsworthy, WHBQ Radio in Memphis. A true Arkansas treasure. Todd, excellent job producing the program today. I know we've scattered all around on you. Great job.
Thank you.
Next week, boys, and it's obviously it's easy to pick a Razorback winner, Val, but no. Will we know anything, Todd? I don't think so.
I don't think so. No, I think they keep their cards too close to the vest.
It's just basically let's don't get anyone hurt, and then it's on to the in-state showdown in a week. Till next week, boys and girls, look out for number 1. Don't step at number 2.
So skinny and so wild, and a waitress in Nevada. She says she's carrying my child. Well, I drive down Sunset Boulevard, my hair blowing in the wind, and I'd stop at fancy restaurants, and they'd finally let me in. I'd spend all my money